You've probably heard the phrase, data is the new oil. But raw oil, straight out of the ground, cannot power a modern engine. Until it passes through a refinery, it is simply unrefined sludge. The same principle applies to the enterprise. Storing raw sales records and inventory logs in an ERP system does not create a business asset. Without processing, that information remains a growing financial liability, consuming server costs without generating a return. Before any algorithmic technology can refine that data, organizations must address a specific cultural bottleneck, the HIPPO effect. HIPPO stands for the highest paid person's opinion. It describes the tendency for organizations to execute strategies based on an executive's historical intuition rather than empirical market data. Intuition-based leadership forces the entire company down a single, unverified path. Modern data-backed frameworks instead run parallel A/B tests, allowing the market to mathematically prove which strategy succeeds before resources are fully committed. We will blueprint how to refine raw enterprise data through 4 analytical tiers, moving from retrospective reporting to the generation of autonomous, net new revenue streams. However, achieving this model requires dismantling the ego-driven decision structures. Algorithmic technology cannot fix a culture that refuses to be wrong. Every organization must pass a 5-point diagnostic scan before attempting complex data analytics. First is data hygiene. Messy records render AI useless. Chaotic input equals flawed output. Second, break down data silos. Information cannot remain trapped in isolated software. Sales, inventory, and accounting data must merge into a centralized data lake for cross-departmental analysis. Third, insights are only effective when accessible to the front line. A sales rep needs customer data during a negotiation, not a week later in a report. Fourth, the architecture must include strict privacy guardrails. Compliance with regulations like PDPA is necessary to maintain customer trust and avoid legal liabilities. Finally, the culture must authorize institutionalized failure. Employees need the legal and cultural room to run A/B tests that might fail. Without that safety, the team will only test safe ideas, which kills innovation. Without these 5 architectural pillars, an investment in business intelligence tools will yield 0 return. The analytics maturity architecture measures how an organization processes information over time to generate value. Tier 1 is descriptive analytics. It answers the question, what happened, using historical reports such as monthly sales charts. Relying on descriptive analytics is like driving while staring in the rearview mirror. It hides what's coming. Tier 2, diagnostic analytics, answers why did it happen by identifying the root cause of past events. Most traditional enterprises stall here. Tier 3, predictive analytics, marks the transition into the foresight zone. This is where machine learning models analyze historical patterns to forecast what will happen next. A model identifies an 80% probability of customer churns 30 days out. The apex is Tier 4, prescriptive analytics. This answers the final question: what action should we take? A prescriptive system automatically triggers a countermeasure. If the system predicts a cancellation, it can issue a targeted 15% discount algorithmically to retain them before they reach the cancellation page. Data transforms into a true financial asset only when it moves from retroactive human reporting to prescriptive automated action. Once you reach the prescriptive tier, the focus shifts to engineering net new revenue streams. Prescriptive engines provide 2 distinct monetization pathways for the organization. Indirect monetization uses data to provide existing business models with competitive advantages. Precision cross-selling allows sales to offer parts exactly when usage data indicates they will wear out. This also enables dynamic pricing. The system uses real-time supply, demand, and competitor data to autonomously adjust prices. Conversely, direct monetization involves packaging the refined data as a completely new digital product. In the industry benchmark model, an organization anonymizes its B2B data to sell performance averages back to the market. Clients pay for this premium intelligence to see how their operations compare to the industry standard. Ultimately, a mature data architecture either ruthlessly optimizes your existing margins or creates entirely new digital product divisions. Consider the case of Siampac, a traditional manufacturer of corrugated boxes. Originally, Siampac operated in a blind state. They relied on reactionary orders, which forced them to carry massive amounts of expensive, idle inventory just to handle sudden surges from their 1,000 clients. To intervene, management used BI tools to analyze 5 years of historical order data across their entire client base. The data revealed clear predictive insights. Canned fruit clients consistently triggered massive orders in May during the harvest, while e-com rises every November. Siampac shifted their production schedule and secured raw materials based on these algorithmic forecasts. This leveled their manufacturing flow and reduced stockouts. They then pivoted their sales strategy into an auto-replenishment program. The sales team moved from taking passive orders to becoming strategic partners, using data to show clients exactly when their stock would run low. Clients signed long-term subscription contracts because the data-driven approach guaranteed their inventory safety. Siampac sold supply chain stability alongside their physical boxes. By applying prescriptive data, Siampac successfully transitioned from a chaotic, reactionary vendor to a stable, subscription-based service provider. Operating a business at scale without a functional data model leads to the same operational latency that forced Siampac into bloated, idle inventory. A data model provides the visibility needed to synchronize supply with demand in real time. It acts as both the headlights and the GPS for the organization, turning operational guesswork into predictable cash flow. However, relying exclusively on internal data limits the scope of your innovation to what you already know. The next evolutionary step requires breaking down the walls of the organization to collaborate with external forces. In our next analysis, we will explore open business models and co-creation, where customers, suppliers, and even competitors are pulled into the innovation pipeline to drive exponential growth.